Hello, this is TalkSporty with Dana and Shawn.
Hey, Dana.
Hey, Shawn, how are you?
I'm doing good. All right. Hey, girl. Talk sporty to me. Let's talk about that spring game and that spring game atmosphere, man.
Oh, that was fantastic. We had not been to a spring game in many years, and it was just like a regular home football game. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, when we got there and those lines were long, I'm like, what is this? This is nuts. Who would have
Yes,
thought, right? Who would have thought?
I had no idea there'd be lines to get in, lines at the concession stand, lines at the bathroom, lines to get
We
a
would
seat.
keep we would keep walking to the top, to the top, to the top.
Yes, we thought we could sit in the bottom bowl. Had to
Yeah.
just
Thought
keep
I'd sit
climbing
near
up.
my regular seats.
We
But
actually
yeah,
found chair backs, which was nice.
that's true. It was kind of better than the bleachers to have to keep going up. So who knew? But
75,000 people. Woo!
biggest crowd at a collegiate spring game
Of,
this year.
of any? Oh, excellent.
Yeah, that's what it said. That's what it said. That's what I read. Number one. Yeah, because hey, if we're competitive, if we're not anything else, right? We
Well,
gotta win.
Venables put out that call. I want the crowd to be involved. I want this place to be a snake pit in the fall
Yes.
when football starts. So let's show the team what we've got. And I thought the crowd did great. Game ball to the
Oh,
crowd.
yes, for sure. It was, and all the players, all the old players that were there. I mean, like on Twitter all week long, they'd have these pictures, coming home, coming home, coming home. It was, I
Oh,
heard like
yeah.
250. I'm not for sure how many.
Well, and I saw Boz and, of
Yes,
course, Daryl McCoy. Who else?
CD. Saw
CD,
CD.
Creed
I heard Jamel
Humphrey.
Holloway was there. I didn't see
Oh, I
Jamel, but I
didn't
heard
see
he was
him.
there.
Okay.
Yep, I heard Jamel was
AD.
there.
AD was there.
Oh, I didn't know he was there.
Yes, he was signing
Awesome.
autographs.
Awesome.
Sterling Shepard.
I love
And
him.
then I'm sure there were tons of others that were
Oh,
missing. But
yeah.
yeah, it was
Yeah, I
fantastic.
mean, Super Bowl guys, Jordan Evans was there, Lane Johnson was there. Of course, Gabe and Dusty and,
Right.
Stoops
Obo.
guys.
Obo came.
Yeah, yeah,
Brian Asamoah. He's getting ready to be in the NFL.
right. Yeah, and I think Nick Benito was there too. I think I'd seen that on Twitter. So yeah, anyway, it was like great
Homecoming.
atmosphere. It
Yeah.
was like a home game, right? I
Yeah, it was.
mean, it was, but even more than the home game because there wasn't opposing fans, right? So it
True.
was, but they had the cheerleaders there and the band, and they just made it a great atmosphere and so fun for a lot of people who probably don't usually get to go to OU football games too. So
Right. It got
um,
the kids involved. Yeah. I thought all that was
yeah,
very cool.
yeah,
And
and
then
even
Brent
with the wind.
Venables' emotional speech, at
Hmm.
halftime.
Oh yeah,
Oh, he got the crowd fired up.
he did. I even like w- made all sorts of notes about what he said, but one of the things that I really loved is like he started off praising all these other programs at the university
Yes, all
at,
the
at,
other
at that halftime
sports.
speech. Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's like, okay, let's go. OU women's tennis, ranked up there. Men's golf ranked number one in the country. Women's softball ranked number one. OU women's gymnastics national championship champions. Men's gymnastics runner ups. I mean, so he was like, we're only there's only one Oklahoma, but it's not just football, right?
Right. That's true. He wanted to include all those
Yeah.
other athletes and what they
Hmm.
do for the university.
Yeah. Yeah. And did you see Baker at halftime? He's taking pictures with all the gymnasts. They're all taking
Yes.
pictures. It's pretty fun.
Yes. I
Yeah.
thought that was
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So Dana, talking about Brent and when he got up to do his halftime thing, do you remember what the first words out of your mouth were? Because I do, and it was awesome.
I don't.
You said he needs to start a church.
Yes. Yes. He was so motivational. I was ready to sign up and go to church and see him on Sundays. I put money in the plate. You bet.
And for all of our listeners who don't know, Jane and I have a very devout faith, so we're just being fun with this,
Yes. But
we know who we really worship.
That's right. But he's got the charisma.
That's right. Yeah. But on Saturdays, we want to talk about some of the stuff. Since we're talking about Brent, should we just talk about a few of the things that he said?
Oh, sure. You start.
Okay. So one of the things he said after introducing all these other great athletes from the University of Oklahoma and giving them their due and their credence, he says, "This is what family looks like."
That's right. We're all one big family.
Yeah. And so we get behind each other. We're there to support each other. And when we make a call that we want to have a big crowd and we want people to know that we are still behind this thing and that it's not about, like Bob said before the bowl game, this program is not about any one person.
That's right. And it's not about Bob.
Yeah.
The program is bigger than Bob or Barry, any of those guys.
Or Brent, or the person we won't talk about. And so another thing he said he uses ours. So he is kind of like a preacher because he uses that alliteration. Yeah.
That's what I told you.
I know, you were right. You were not wrong. So he said we're going to reestablish, reset, raise, and represent.
You were really paying attention.
I was making notes.
We were
there doing our research, right?
I was just thinking he needed to hold still, maybe a little bit longer at the 50-yard line. He's a wiggler. He paces back and forth, hold still and just captivate the audience.
Yeah, we got to remember he's the guy who is running up and down the sidelines.
Always has to have somebody holding his pants.
Yes, and dragging his cord behind him and stuff like that. That's him. But another thing he said champions behave like champions well before they become champions.
And that's very true.
Yeah.
You have to behave it. You have to walk the walk, talk the talk, put in all the practice, work hard before you become a champ or a Heisman Trophy winner or anything spectacular like that.
Sure.
Very
Exactly.
true.
Yeah. Speaking of that, which, I mean, talking about Heisman Trophy winner, I heard that Baker Mayfield talking about behaving it like a champion before you become one. He used to go, he knew some of the people who, worked at the stadium, of course, there at the Palace. And he would go there like late at night. He'd make sure they weren't going to kick him out. And he would run snap counts in his head. And he would just pretend like he was taking a snap, and he would, take a step back, and he would just be visualizing the game, but he would go out on the field and do it.
Wow.
And so he said that was one of the ways he got this like internal clock in his head. And so, if he looked and he said, okay, I've got 10 seconds, before this play gets to go off. And if he wanted to run a hurry up, he'd know. But if he, wanted to use the time, so he would just sit there and count it all off in his head and practice that stuff by himself. So he was becoming a champion. He was behaving like a champion before he ever became a champion or the Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's I didn't know that about Baker.
Yeah, I always thought that was a really cool story. So that just fit in with what Brent
very
said.
Cool.
Yeah.
And just think, Baker came from not really being wanted out of high school. I think he got was it Army or Air Force offer, and he was kind of like, I don't think the military is my thing.
Right.
Maybe some other smaller university, and decided to go to Tech.
Yeah.
And then he comes to OU. He didn't feel like Kingsbury quite maybe was going to let him play that much the next year. So he comes
Yeah.
to Bob and says, "Hey,
Yeah.
I want to walk on." And Bob's like,
Well,
"Come
exactly.
on."
Yeah, sure.
And then he wins a Heisman Trophy because he put in all that
Hmm.
time and effort.
Yeah, exactly.
It
It
didn't
was
come
awesome.
natural.
Right. And it was fun seeing him there, and it was fun seeing him there, with other Heisman Trophy winners, and just looking forward to, seeing Kyler's statue next year. But, the little montage they did with his speech from the Heisman thing, it would have been fun. I might need to look back and see, because it would have been fun to actually see what the cameras were seeing, because I bet while he was watching that, he was getting choked up, from
I
way
bet
up
so.
high where we were. We couldn't
Right,
see.
we couldn't really see him. Right, he
We
just
couldn't
faced the
see
screen.
what his reaction was, but I bet he was just like, a lot of emotions were running through his mind at that point in time. So
Had to have been.
yeah, so it's fun, and it's fun seeing Jason and Steve
Yep.
and
Kyler.
Kyler, and I know the night before Sam Bradford was there, so another statue in Heisman Park.
Hey,
We got him, baby.
We got a lot of room for more, though. That's what we want.
That's right. We got more. We got room for more. Who will be the next one?
Hope we have one off this team. Wouldn't that be fantastic for
Oh my gosh!
the
yes.
first year of Venables taking over?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. I'd love that. One of the other things he said, and I think based on what we saw on Saturday, we are well on our way to making this happen. Is Brent said, "I want to make the Palace," and for all of those of you who are listening to this podcast who maybe aren't Sooner fans like we are, we call our stadium Palace on the Prairie. So Brent said he wants to make the Palace demoralizing and deafening.
Yes, I heard that, and then the crowd went
Yes.
just as loud as they could.
Yeah, we need to make it like that one Tech game.
Yes, yes, that was an evening game. It was dark,
Yes.
lights come on. The place was so loud. You
Oh
just
my
want
gosh,
to
it was
make
so
it
loud.
difficult on whoever the opposing team is, but especially
Right.
someone we don't like Baylor or the
Yes.
Cowboys. I want to make it hard on them to even get the snaps off.
That's right. Yes.
Get the plays
exactly.
in from the side,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
Make them get, penalties from the start.
exactly. For sure. I agree. So, Sooner Nation, deafening and demoralizing. That
Yes.
is your charge from Coach V.
That's right. And we can all do it come
We can do it.
September the 1st or whatever the first home game is.
We'll be there with bells on
And be loud.
loud. Be loud and proud, because there's only one.
Oklahoma.
All right. So should we talk about the team?
Yeah, I guess we should. We've covered at least the head coach. I mean, we at least got to see some of the assistant coaches too. But Shawn and I were kind of like, wonder who that is. I mean, we could make out some of them. We knew DeMarco. He's an easy one to pick out.
Yeah, absolutely. I
But
love
some
me
of
some
the
DeMarco.
other guys were like, why didn't they introduce them and let us get them in their gear?
Of course, remember we weren't there
Well,
at the
that's
beginning because of the big long lines outside that we
we
weren't
missed
expecting.
the first couple minutes, so they
yeah,
might
that's-
have done that.
That's right. That's not us typically. We promise we won't be like that during the season. But yeah, they took us. Sooner Nation took us by surprise a little
They
bit.
did for
In a good way, in the best way possible.
a spring game. There shouldn't be lines to get in, but hey, we all showed up.
Yeah, we were out there and we hear the crowd yelling, and Theo Weiss has had this big long catch, and the next play, I don't know, somebody ran it in.
And we missed it.
And we missed it. Yeah. Yeah, go. That was the red team. Go red team.
Yep. Well, they did win, so I guess that was
did.
their first score.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so who were you excited to see?
I was really excited to see Dylan Gabriel in a Sooner uniform.
Yes.
I watched him play at UCF.
Yeah, because your daughter went there.
Yes,
for
my
all of
daughter
us who
went
don't know.
there, and she was there when Blake Bortles was their quarterback, and they beat the Baylor Bears in a big bowl game.
Right.
And we were rooting for her team because she's a UCF grad.
Yeah.
So that's always made me kind of watch them. And I watched Dylan Gabriel play those couple of years that he played at UCF. Great quarterback, really great passer, and he was injured last year. So I just, kind of had wondered what he'd look like. And seeing him out there on the field, he can drop back. He's got a quick release. He'd look at one guy. If that guy was covered, he'd go to the next. He'd go to the next. He'd check off. He looked super, I thought.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Well, about that, he and Marvin Mims obviously have some chemistry.
Definitely.
So excited about that. I think Marvin was underutilized last year. And I'm so glad he decided to stay. And I think he is going to be a beast this year.
Oh, I do too. And I think he's got something to prove because he didn't get utilized as much last year. And I hope he's his go-to guy. I hope that deep ball is there.
Sure.
Accurate, on point, and we score touchdowns every time.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Yeah, I'm very excited to see that. And it looks like we saw some good running backs.
Oh, yes. Now, Marcus Major, we saw him in street clothes. He didn't play.
Right.
Eric Gray played a little bit, but I think they were trying to not play him too much.
Yeah, and they know what Eric can do.
Right.
Right.
And that Javonte Barnes, woo, he is something. I was impressed. Big time.
Yeah, he looked good. And then the other, Tawi Walker.
Oh, yes, Tawi Walker. He was not a name that I really paid much attention to.
Yeah.
And then you see him out there on the field, and he reminded me of Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah.
He's kind of that build.
Short and stocky.
Yeah, short and stocky, and he just is going to run it down your throat. He's a north-south runner, and you give him the ball, and he's just going to run you over.
Yeah, you better watch out. The freight train's coming. So that was really exciting.
That was fun to see him. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little bit, and I know this is stuff that they'll get fixed because even Brent said it's the little things, and little things matter because that's how you become excellent. All right, so I know that I've heard that O-lines really work as a team and much more than just like you just plug people in because that kind of throws things off. I don't know. I've never been an O-lineman, but that's what I've heard. And so I realize in this spring game scenario, because you are moving people in and out and also probably trying to find what is the best team, that maybe, false starts and snap count issues and that kind of thing will happen. So I'm not going to put, too much credence in that, but it did happen more than once and more than you'd like to see. Yeah. And those are the kind of silly kind of little errors that you don't want to see in the regular season on a regular basis. So I hope and I have faith that that's a thing that they will address and get fixed and find the right group of guys to work together on the O-line.
Right, I agree. They were also interchanging some of the quarterbacks, and I thought, how they count may be a little different.
Right.
How their voice sounds.
Yeah, and their cadence.
But some above their head and some down in the dirt.
Yeah.
We do want to clean that up, but I'm sure
we
will.
Yeah, we definitely want to clean that up.
That.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Don't you think?
Well, yes, and you know what? Well, I mean, if you just look at our O-lineman in the NFL, we know he can do it, right?
Correct. He can get it done.
Yeah, some of who were there the other day, like Creed Humphrey.
Yeah. Shout out to Creed.
Shout out to Creed. All right. Okay, let's see. Who else says? Okay, so I was really excited to see all the early enrollees.
Me too.
Out there.
And I think that I counted on the roster that there were 11 or 12 true freshmen that are here on campus going to class so they can practice spring ball out of a class of like 23 true freshmen. Isn't
Yeah,
that
so
exciting?
yeah, that's very exciting and that's huge. And, you know, especially with all the concerns about what is our signing class going to be like and what are they going to look like. And that was really fun to see. And the ones, you know, I spent a little bit of time keying on because there are a whole lot of guys out there on the field. So it's hard to really get a great analysis of all of them, but that was fun. One I was really looking forward to seeing was Robert Spears Jennings, just because I really liked his story about why he wasn't going to flip
Yes,
and
tell the
follow
story.
Riley.
Tell a story about his
So
mother.
yeah, so you know, after Riley left, I'm pretty sure it was DeMarco and Kale and Roy Manning went up there to talk to him and his mom and you know just see you know feel out and make sure that he was still you know committed to OU. And his mom like looks at Roy and she's like, are you going to be around? Because you know I kind of hear that maybe you're not going to be around, and integrity is important to us, and people saying what they're going to do is important. And right now we're not necessarily feeling that from you. We're feeling it. I mean, I'm probably putting some words in her mouth, but kind of we're feeling it from DeMarco and Gundy, but you not so sure, which rightfully so, right? Because like the next week he was gone.
He's gone.
He was gone. And you know, there were stories that he was talking to players for USC while he was still on staff at OU. That's not that's rumor. I'm not going to say that's fact. But anyway, I mean his mom was like, integrity is important. And this is what our word was, and we're believing we're supposed to believe you, and you want to know about us, but we need to believe you first. So but he did. He signed with OU, and he was you know, I saw him, he's getting after it yesterday. So that was fun to see.
The other guy that I saw that I didn't know a thing about was the Jaden Gibson, and he was a wide
Yes.
receiver out of Florida. I hadn't really read anything
Yeah,
about him, and he got the ball a couple
he
times.
did.
He had a big long run.
Hmm.
It was just he was just something to see, and I thought
Yeah.
he can be the next Mario Williams. Maybe he'll just step
Uh-huh.
into that spot and
That's
be
right.
ready to
Yeah.
fill that.
Yeah, he was getting some snatches and getting some yards after catch, and we saw him more than once, and
Right.
he
Very
was yeah.
explosive, and
Yeah.
he was usually, ahead of his defender,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
we got to do come
Right.
real season.
Yeah. So that was fun, and he's a big guy too. He's
Yes, like
six
six
five.
five.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Yeah.
need some of that.
Yeah. So that's fun. And he's wide receiver, not a tight end, because he's not thick. But yeah, so that'll be fun. So yeah, there's some of those fun guys. And also we got to watch the dancing bear some.
I just
I
love
hadn't heard
that.
about the dancing bear, so
Well, I
tell
was
everybody about the
reading a
dancing
little
bear.
blurb, from Venables, and he was talking about Jonah Lu, no, Laulu, Laulu,
Yeah.
from Hawaii, and they watched him on film, and he entered the transfer portal, and they wanted him to come join our team. And after they met him, Venables described him as a quote unquote dancing bear out on the field. And when I heard that, I'm like, I can remember that. That's a great way to
Yes,
describe him. He's a
exactly.
big guy, but
Uh-huh.
he makes all this movement on the defensive line just look effortless, like he's a
Yeah.
ballerina or a dancer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was fun to watch him.
That was fun. And then the other thing, okay, so, and my son, he played linebacker. So he's like, okay, what kind of, defense were they running and how many guys are on the line? I'm like, oh gosh, Josh, I don't know. I said, but they sometimes, and you were telling me about this too, they'll pull a safety or way up, almost like he's in a linebacker position. Right?
Yes. And Venables has a name for it. I don't remember the name, but he pulls him up to kind of cheat over and help either be a linebacker or be
Yeah.
able to run back and be part safety.
Right.
And they said that Venables wasn't sure who would run that position here. They were hoping Deshaun White.
Right.
But then they also had a freshman, right?
Well, yeah, I think sometimes I I think Spears Jennings was doing that some.
Yes, I think he was too.
Yeah.
They
Yeah. Which, I mean,
you
he's
need to be
listed.
fast.
Yeah, he's listed as a safety, and so that's, yeah, he was kind of doing that some, and then yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see, you know, what he does with the linebackers, and it's going to be fun to see, you know, like Deshaun White. Glad he stayed,
Yes.
and you know, he felt like he had unfinished business and something to prove, and so there's, you know, a few guys who are going to do that. It's going to be interesting to see Jalil this year. He was pulling down.
Yes, he looked good
Yeah,
out in the field, you know, catching passes.
yeah, yeah. So it's not just all new guys, and yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be a fun year.
Me too. I
Yeah.
think the kicker, that's a true freshman, and I'll have to look his name up. I thought he looked great. He was doing.
Was that Marshall, Gavin Marshall? The guy from Frisco?
Yes.
Is that the one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I just knew he was down from your area.
Yes.
He would kick off after a score, and he was kicking into the wind, and he hit it into the end zone every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was phenomenal. It reminded me of Burkich. I mean, hey,
right. Yeah.
if we got to replace him, let's replace him with someone just as good.
That's right. And we didn't have any long field goals that were kicked, but there was at least one field goal. They were making their PATs, but the wind yesterday was crazy.
It was awful.
Crazy. And I was like, okay, the running game's going to be the winner, because who can throw into this wind? But the guys were. You know, I mean, there was only like one time, and that was with one of the younger guys. I can't remember which one, but the ball seemed to kind of float over somebody's head. But for the most part, it's whether they were passing with the wind or into the wind, they seemed to be getting it to their targets. So that was really good to see, because, you know, most of the time in the fall, we're not going to have that kind of crazy wind. But to see the kickers being able to do that too, was
and the
good.
gusts were like 40 miles an hour. I mean, that's how bad it was.
Yeah. Oklahoma in the spring, baby. Welcome to it.
What else can you say?
That's right.
These poor kids that aren't Okies, they don't understand what they got
They
into.
don't. Oh, yeah. Yeah, some of these kids, you know, on the field, they're like, wait a minute. I'm not sure I signed up for this. It's like I have a friend, a kid who played for Plano East, where my kids went to school, and he is playing for North Dakota State, which means he's won 2 championship rings since he's been there. But he went up there for his official visit in February, and the temperature was like minus 13 degrees. And I remember telling his mom, I go, well, if he still wants to go there, I go, you know, at least that he's seen it as bad as it gets.
Right.
You know, and so you know, you don't have to worry that I just sent him up there in the summer and he doesn't know, you know, how awful it was. So yeah.
As a parent, I would counsel for sun.
Yes, yeah. And hopefully not as much wind.
Okay? Not Dakota.
Yes. Yeah, not, but so these guys saw the wind, and then got some exciting weather after the game too. So
oh yes. Yeah. We were driving opposite directions, and we're both checking on each other. Hey, you didn't get in the tornado that came through Norman and Moore, right? You got out of town, and we missed it too.
Yeah, I kept getting these alerts on my car, you know, it's tornado warning. I'm like, okay, yeah. Thankfully, I'm driving the other direction, but Dana is driving right into it. I hope she's okay.
Well, the tornado alarm was sounding just as we were like about a block from our house.
Right.
And I'm kind of like, there's not a tornado.
Okay,
it's not even raining.
Okay. Off football, but did anything even touch down? Was there any hail yesterday in your area?
Not in our area at all. They
Okay.
said North Oklahoma City, Edmond was fine. It just kind of came through
Okay.
downtown and the Moore area. There was a
Okay.
tornado that went over Tinker, but I don't think it ever touched down.
Oh, okay, of course.
That's
They always hit in the
prime,
same place,
prime
right? Midwest
tornado
City, Del City, Moore. I heard there was
place.
something in Tuttle too, home of Jason White. Shout out to Jason White.
Yes. There was one there that they showed on TV, that
Yeah.
touched down
Oh,
and then
okay.
came
Oh,
back
there
down.
was one. Okay. All right. All right. Well, we were talking about kickers a second ago, and like, so my favorite quote of the
What was it?
night, came from you, Dana, and you were talking about the kicker when he was punting. And what did you say about his punting?
I'm going to have to pay attention better. What did I say?
you said, you said, punting is not his spiritual gift.
Yes, he punted from the 30 and it went almost to the 50 with the
Oh,
wind.
yeah. He might be a place kicker, but punting might not be his spiritual gift.
Poor kid. I don't think he got a good kick on it, got under it, but it was not it was a
Yeah.
stinker.
And bless his heart, I don't even remember which kicker
I
it
don't
was, so
either.
we're not like
So we're
throwing
not
anybody
sorry.
under the bus here. But yes.
It'll only get better from there.
Yeah, that's right. It may
But
not
yes,
be his
I
spiritual
did
gift.
say it was not a spiritual gift.
Yeah, not a spiritual gift.
That might be why he's not a scholarship.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
oh
I'm
no.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Poor guy. I know you are. I know you are. So, well, I've got one other topic, but anything else on this spring game?
No, I was going to say, I read a little quote, and it's not a great quote, but Dylan Gabriel was just talking about how they had told him that coaches had said, there'll be people here, they're fans, they'll only fill the bottom bowl, they
Oh,
won't
okay.
go any farther up.
Yeah.
Spring game. Just,
Uh-huh.
just treat it like a practice.
Right.
And he said when he got out there and he saw the fans at the top of the stadium,
Yeah.
he said, quote, man, it's just a great feeling to know Sooner Nation's got our back. So I thought that was incredible. Because he'd probably never seen that. We went to UCF games when our daughter was there. Crowd
Love
kind of
it.
comes, they watch a little bit, they leave at
Yeah.
halftime. They have bleachers. They probably don't even hold 40,000 people. So he's not used to a stadium
Right.
the size of ours and to be full on top of that.
Uh-huh.
He was shouting out to the fans.
That's great. Yeah, so let's see. Oh, Jaden Gibson, talking about him. So on Twitter, he said how nervous he was.
Really?
Yeah, because I know this because he said I was super nervous. Sooner Nation, I got more for you for sure. And I'm like, wait, we were like amazed with you, and you're
Yeah.
sitting there thinking,
He's got
wait,
more?
I was like super nervous. I've got more. It's almost like he was like apologizing, and he said, but keep on packing the stadium.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Yeah. I couldn't remember who it was. I just looked it up on Twitter though, and that's who it was. So
That was
isn't that
Jaden.
fun?
Okay.
Yeah.
He's going to become
So,
a household name. We're pretty sure.
yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah. Love it. So fun. Love my Sooners. Okay, so how about, since like I think we talked a lot about the spring game, the Player Tribune letter from Lincoln Riley. We promise we won't talk about him all the time because, but he put this out this week on it for a reason.
Well, my understanding was Spencer Rattler had come out and talked about the OU environment had been toxic last
Toxic,
season.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was the word he used. And even Austin Stogner chimed in and said Rattler did everything he could have. He continued to come to practice. He continued
Right.
to try and be a bigger man after he lost his starting job.
Yeah.
And it was still a toxic environment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Lincoln Riley's letter was kind of in response to that, or that's the idea
Yeah.
I got. But
Right. Yeah, same.
geez, just shut up. Be quiet.
I know.
Let it
Yeah.
go.
Exactly. I'm just like, you read
What did
that
you think?
letter. Well, it's like I told you. I think it was like you've got this ex-boyfriend who has broken up with you, and you've decided, though, I'm moving on and I'm going to make the best of my situation. So good riddance. And then he's like kind of sad that you've
He
moved
wants to hang
on.
around.
Yes. And so, well, oh gosh, I'm going to tell you about how much I just loved you. And there was this memory and this memory. And the fans are great. And Norman's great. And the stadium's great. And the program's great. And I thought I would be there forever. But I'm not because I'm on the beach.
I got
Whatever,
this great
dude.
opportunity. It's like, we've heard all that. Just
Yeah.
go
I
play
mean,
with
it's
your
just-
Hollywood starlets. Leave us alone.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. It was like no point. And it was like he had spent a long time writing, or whoever wrote it.
Yeah, I don't
maybe
think he
him,
wrote
maybe.
it. Didn't sound like him.
But it's like, okay, you didn't just tell us anything. It's like you still really want us to like you, right?
Right, I agree. Same kind of thing. You left us, and now you want to tell us how much you loved us. You didn't love us, or you wouldn't have gone. You could have handled that situation a much better, and you didn't.
Okay, so it's like he just really wants us to still like him, right? And that ship
Right.
has sailed. We don't like him anymore. Move on, dude. What do you care, right?
He shouldn't care one bit.
No.
He
no.
left us. Yeah, go do your
Yeah,
own
we've
thing.
moved on.
We've
We've got
on.
somebody better. We got somebody who likes us. Liked us a long time.
Right. We got somebody better than him. You're right.
That's right.
I
yeah,
think he's going to miss the crowd, too. You just wait.
Yeah, did you see any of those pictures, Dana?
Shawn sent me this picture of our crowd at the OU game, 77,368 or something like that. And then right below it is the USC crowd, and there are maybe 18,000, maybe.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you guess? 18,
yeah,
20,000?
they're claiming 33.
Yeah, there's no way.
And you know, I get we don't know when during their spring scrimmage the photo was taken, right? You know, I mean, maybe it wasn't taken at the height of 33, or maybe 33,000 people said they were going to come and they didn't all show up. But yes, yeah.
Yeah, there were not that many people in that picture. Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's the thing too, you know, is like Sooner Nation is like, dude, you can write all the letters to us you want, and you can tell us how much you loved us and how much
All
you're
the
going to
memories
miss
at
us
Tennessee,
and all.
double overtime
Yes,
win, come from behind.
Yeah, which it was great. Hey,
It was.
you know, we loved it. But yeah, you broke up with us, and we're done, and
We
on
found a
to
better boyfriend.
we found a better boyfriend. Yeah.
And he ain't
We're
gonna
gonna
cheat.
work. He's not gonna cheat on us. Yeah, you cheater. Yeah, we're moving on. Okay.
You go out there with your starlets. You go see Kim Kardashian. We don't care.
Yes, you hang out at your mansion on the beach and enjoy that weather.
Let your players come over for Easter dinner.
Yeah, let them all talk to all the media, and because you want to be famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we'll take all these players and make a team. And
That's
you're
right.
going to be sad.
Yes, you're gonna be a sad little boy, and we're gonna have fun because we're gonna still be OU.
And the palace on the prairie will be deafening.
Deafening and demoralizing.
Yes! Go Venables!
Yay! All right. Okay. So we're gonna keep doing this, right, Dana?
I know. I think so. We'll have to
Yeah,
do
we're
another
gonna keep-
couple of these before real football starts. And then, yeah, we've got to do this
right.
on a weekly basis.
Yeah, and I got ideas. We're gonna talk, we'll have some Dana and Shawn memories
Oh, that'd
maybe.
be fun,
Yeah.
especially like OU Texas.
Yeah, yeah. We got a few OU Texas stories. Oh, Dana, I forgot. So Brianna was telling me, Brianna's my daughter for everybody, and we were talking about Lincoln Riley and the Players Tribune, and she wanted to hear you say something,
Did I
which
say it?
you didn't, but
Oh, dang.
but what she wanted to hear you say, poor Lincoln.
Like I do for Texas.
Yes,
At the OU
yes.
Texas game, that's one of my things. I'll say,
Because
poor Texas
because she has been hearing
sucks.
that from you since she was 2 years old.
Okay, this is just for
So
Brie.
this is for Brianna.
Poor Lincoln sucks.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to go out today.
All right, this has been fun, Shawn. The
It's
game
been
was
fun.
fun. All of
Yep.
you guys, if you weren't at the spring game, you at least got to get ready for the fall. It's coming. We're going
Yeah,
to be ready.
we
We
will
are going
be.
to win some games.
Yeah.
Shawn and I will, well, I'll study up more on defense because I'm not real good at that, but maybe her son will teach us some things and
Yeah,
we'll
maybe
be able to
he'll
do a
help
little
us
better
out.
commentary on that.
That's right. That's right. But we're gonna keep talking sporty.
That's right. We'll keep
Yeah,
talking sporty to each other and to you
that's
guys
right.
out there.
Absolutely. All right.
So
Goodbye.
long,
See ya.
Boomer.
Sooner. That's a wrap.